to another day here at Bronie's desk, and it's bright and early this morning. And today I have a guest who I've been trying to get for over a year. And a lot of you have asked me to bring this gentleman on because we have an absolutely amazing liver detoxing program in our shopping mall, our online shopping mall, as I like to call our longevity thing. And this man is the developer of it. Now, he is married with 3 boys who are very sporty, and I understand that Dr. Lewis is always running people around everywhere, the teams and everything like that. And he has a really big, amazing team himself. Now, Dr. Luis Arriaza, I knew I'd say his name. I just call him Dr. Louis, right? He is the developer of this liver detox and has an amazing background. So what I would love for him to do for us today is to share with us the history behind the liver detoxing program, how it works, why it is important to do, and how often and who is able to do it, and from what age, and if there is an age that they shouldn't do it. So that's just to start with. That's just basically history. So with no further ado, Dr. Lewis, I'm going to hand it over to you. And look, I can say your name perfectly fine, except when the camera's on.
Yes, no worries, no worries. It's been said much worse, so I appreciate the attempt. So I just a little history. So I graduated. Oh my goodness, time goes by so fast. I graduated 31 years ago as a doctor of chiropractic, and long time ago. And in our practice, there's, if you've ever been to a chiropractor, there's 2 types of chiropractors. There's what they call straight and what they call mixers. The straight chiropractors are the chiropractors that only focus on the spine, only focus on the central nervous system, and the mixers are the ones that use therapies and massages and ultrasounds and electrical muscle stim and all that. So I was what you call a straight chiropractor. So very quickly, under the mentorship of a gentleman who mentored me for 19 years, my practice grew to almost 200 patients a day. At that point, someone gave me a book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and it taught me what was the difference between an entrepreneur and a propreneur. And at that point, I thought I was an entrepreneur, but I was actually a propreneur. An entrepreneur is a person that works on his business, while a propreneur is a person that works in his business. And I realized that because I went on a 2-week vacation. I came back, and about 35% of my patient load had decreased. And that was an indication that I was a propreneur. So I changed my technique in my management technique, and I realized that my strength was in marketing. So over the next 3 years, by the time I was 31 years old, my wife and I had opened 7 health centers, and we were having a blast. We were working 15, 16, 17 hours a day, 6 days a week. It was just her and I. We got the practices to a huge amount of not just seeing patients, but of collections. Everything was wonderful. And then our first miracle came, which was our son, who was going to be 24 years old. And at that moment, I really felt like God just pulled it out of me. I didn't want to be out of my home for 17, 18 hours. I did not want to be marketing every single weekend. And that is when, through serendipity, I came across multi-level marketing. I was never looking for network marketing. I didn't know anything about network marketing, but I met this Asian gentleman who became my second mentor. He mentored me for 7 years. And he taught me the philosophy, science, and art of network marketing. So I came home very excited, and I told my wife, this is going to be our journey. And she says, what are you talking about? I said, I'm not sure, but I'm very excited about it. And different than most people, what my wife and I, what we did is we developed a system. We developed a very strong, duplicatable system based on a universal premise of network marketing and 5 pillars. And we started teaching that. And our organization grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew very, very quickly. 5 years later, the owner began to change his philosophy. So my wife and I resigned. We went back to network marketing, but we realized that wasn't that wasn't what we wanted to do anymore. I love network marketing. I mean, I love chiropractic. I still adjust people, but I didn't want to be confined to being in an office anymore. And that is when we developed our True to Life company, which is the Detox. We developed it for our patients. We had multiple offices in very predominant Latino areas. And as you know, the Latino food, the Mexican food, it's very, very delicious, but it's very, very unhealthy. So we would have all these patients that would come in with lipomas and fibromas and high blood sugar, high cholesterol, hypertension, acne vulgaris, eczema, all these different things that are all related to the gut. So I formulated a liver detox based on the function of enzymes. And I did it just for our patients. And lo and behold, I never expected that this detox was going to balance the chemistry. It was going to change the fluctuation of blood pressure, of blood sugar. And it pretty much took a life of its own. And that is when Steve Wallach and Michelle Wallach contacted us 13 years ago. And they said, we would love to buy the proprietary blend. But at the time, we had sold almost all our centers except one. So my wife and I said, no, we won't sell our formula, but we'll form an alliance. So I've been with Longevity for 13 years now, and it's been the best 13 years of business of my wife and I, of our lives. We have helped a lot of people. We just surpassed 800,000 people in our organization. We've helped a lot of people, and we have made a lot of great money, and we have had some tremendous times. And based on the philosophy of detoxifying your liver. So just a little bit about the endocrine system. So there's multiple systems in the body. There's a cardiovascular system, there's a central nervous system, there's a respiratory system, there's a musculoskeletal system, and then there's something called the endocrine system. The endocrine system is made up of your thyroid, your pancreas, your spleen, your stomach, your small intestine, your gallbladder, your liver. And the chief of the endocrine system, the leader, is the liver. So the liver is directly and indirectly, related to 80% of the chemistry in the body. So everything that you eat, breathe, and drink has to go through the liver before it goes into the general circulation. The liver is the filter. Now, when the filter is filled with toxins coming from everything that we eat, breathe, and drink, when it's filled with toxins, it's going to change our hormonal level, in specific the estrogen. Both men and women have testosterone, and both men and women have estrogen. But when estrogen increases, the body turns estrogen into estradiol, and the estradiol competes against the thyroid hormone. So now people that have a toxic liver, it appears as if they have a thyroid issue. There are people that sleep a lot and wake up tired. There are people that they may eat little and they're gaining weight. They go to the doctors and the doctor says, oh, you have a thyroid issue. The latest clinical evidence suggests that you may have a thyroid issue, but it's secondary to a toxic liver. So when you detoxify your liver, your estrogen and your estradiols, they normalize. Your thyroid gland and your thyroid hormone begin to do what they're supposed to do. Your whole metabolism starts functioning well. And as we say, the power that made the body heals the body. The body starts becoming healthy again. Now, people that have had a toxic liver for a long time, think of toxins as a sand. And the sand is going to travel through the common bile duct into the gallbladder. And the sand begins to calcify in the gallbladder. So those are called gallstones. When a person has gallstones, the gallbladder inflames. You go to the doctor, you go to the ER room, to urgent care. They're going to do a quick ultrasound. They're going to say, you have gallstones, and they're going to remove your gallbladder. They don't tell people that the gallbladder is used to metabolize fatty foods, because the gallbladder houses bile. And every time you eat something fatty, the gallbladder is going to secrete some bile and it's going to metabolize the fatty foods. So if you don't have a gallbladder, and now they remove the pain from the gallstones, but now you're going to have digestive issues for the rest of your life. So what we suggest to people is detoxify your liver twice a year. If you're under heavy medication, if you've gone through chemo, if you're morbidly obese, you can detoxify your liver 3 times a year. Stay on the enzymes and stay on the True Cleanse, because the True Cleanse It has the full spectrum of probiotics, and that's what we really want to do. We really want to heal the intestinal flora. We really want that intestinal flora to be optimally healthy, and the only way we can do this is by restoring it through the probiotics. So, who should detoxify? Everyone. As long as the youngest person that we've detoxified is probably somewhere between 9 and 10 years of age, up until they're able to mobile enough to get to the restroom on their own. The people that should not detoxify are people that are currently on dialysis, people that are currently on chemotherapy, or a woman who's pregnant. A lactating mom should not detoxify, because then some of those toxins are going to enter the blood system and they can go into the baby. So those are the only 3 type of people that we would never detoxify. But detoxifying your liver, if you're anywhere from 12 to 90, should be something that we should do every single year, 1 to 2 times a year, solely because we live in a very, very toxic environment.
Wow, that's a big age range. And
yes, absolutely.
Yes, because like I do have people that ask me, well, how young can I do this? And they have kids, because there are a lot of kids are really heavily toxified with everything going on in the world.
Yes.
And rubbish food they eat.
Yes. Yeah. And especially right now, right now, the foods, I just got off the call with a gentleman that has stage 4 cancer. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing to strengthen your immune system? He said, oh, I'm having smoothies and I'm eating raw vegetables. I said, that's not enough. In today's time, we live in the supplementation era. You cannot eat your way to be healthy anymore. It just doesn't exist. In 1976, and 1 apple in 1976 is equivalent to 14 apples today. That's the nutritional deficiency that we have in our foods today. So therefore, even if you attempt to eat well, and even if you're buying the most expensive organic food, the body is still not going to metabolize it, digest it, and absorb it as much and as well as if you would be supplementing correctly. That's why we love so much the 90 for Life line by Dr. Wallach, because it is such high quality. I never tell people that our products are the best products, because that's kind of like what amateurs say. But I tell people that our products are the most complete products, because they are. There's no product on the market that has the minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids, and antioxidants the way Dr. Wallach has created. So there's a system in the longevity called the 1092 Mega Pack that comes with the Healthy Start Pack, and it comes with the Liver Detox. And that is what we promote to probably about 90% of the people that we talk to.
Oh, yes. We actually have the Detoxing CEO Pack down under, which is amazing. We've only not long, actually, probably had it about a year, which is why I've been trying to get you. And so that is really an amazing program, and I think it's just one we don't promote enough, to be honest. And I've seen a lot of people have such success in that they were struggling to lose weight and struggling with things, and I did it, and I didn't need to lose weight when I first did it, but I lost 10 kilo without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's one of the beautiful byproducts is a weight loss. That's one of the most amazing byproducts. Now we don't promote it like a weight loss. We don't talk about it like a weight loss. But when you have a liver that's clean, just 1 second, please.
Just a second.
But when you have a liver that's functioning well, and when you have a liver that's not toxic, it's just going to help the whole body digest well. Most of the time people are eating not because they're hungry, but because they're nutritionally deficient. Okay. So therefore, if you're absorbing the foods when you're supposed to absorb the foods, then your body's not going to crave as many calories. And that's the goal.
I found that. Just before I go into questions, because I have a few people have questions. What about the people who want to do the liver detox but don't need to lose weight? Like my husband, for example, he doesn't want to do it because he saw me lose weight, and he doesn't want to lose weight and doesn't need to lose weight. how can we adjust it so that those who are already at a really good weight don't lose extra weight?
You just maintain the same caloric intake. So you're not, again, this is not a weight loss program. People can use it for a weight loss program, but you can easily detoxify your body, continue with the good eating habits, continue taking your nutrition, and you're not going to lose weight.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well,
yeah.
I thought we'd go to questions from Caroline first, because she's got children she's trying to get ready for school. So I will add her to the spotlight. And Caroline Thomas, you probably know very well, but Caroline has lots of questions. So I will hand it over.
I am ready. What time is it there?
Thank you.
It is it's 7:20 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's all good. Thank you, Dr. Luis. Thank you for your time today. Yes, I just wanted to ask a few questions. I'm a long-time follower of you and this liver detox program, and certainly we've got a lot of people down under who love this program. So we're really grateful for this, and I've certainly focused on this liver detox program, and so thank you very much for all that you do. We absolutely love you here. So just want to ask you these questions. So I do have quite a few, so I'm quite mindful, obviously, if there's other people with questions, but I'm happy for you to sort of quick fire some of these, because these are the things that come up when I do the liver detox with people. I've actually done this about 7 times myself now, and I'm about to start again next week, possibly. And yeah, so I do this twice a year. So, and I love it. But so can you just explain what's happening on the liver the detox in day 7 and 8 with the fasting?
Sure. So every time you detoxify your liver, when you first detoxify your liver, there's going to be a percentage of the toxins that are not going to be evacuated in your stool. And those toxins are going to go back into your circulatory system. And so for the rest of the month, you're going to be taking the true cleanse and the enzymes and doing a few days of fasting so you can finish removing all the toxins from your circulatory system. So that is the purpose of day 7 and 8, where you're not eating anything, you're only doing the true cleanse, so we can finish removing all the toxins. And in fact, for many people, you're not going to fully detoxify for the first time. We gotta think about it this way. Many people, they may be 30, 40, 50 years old, and they're detoxifying for the very, very first time. So therefore, their liver and their endocrine system is so toxic that trying it just one time isn't enough. So therefore, that is why we use those days to fast, and that is why many times people have to do it for a couple times.
Okay, fantastic. And you just answered my other question as well. That's why also on day 30, there's another fast there, and that's, I suppose, to eliminate those toxins again at the end.
Right. So if you think about it, and I'm probably preaching to the choir right now, we're the only mammals that eat 2, 3, 4 times a day. You know, if you think about it, if you look at other mammals, look at, you know, the lions and the tigers, you never see them overweight. I've never seen an obese tiger or an obese lion, right? Rarely. And they eat, and then they don't eat for a few days. So our digestive system, it's not supposed to be working all the time. So introducing 1 or 2 fast days a month is actually incredibly healthy, because it allows us to reboot our endocrine system, reboot our digestive system, and it allows us to work more efficiently. You can just imagine people, I don't know how it is there, but in the United States, we probably have the worst diet and the worst eating habits in the world, right? We're considered the most obese country in the world. And so, you know, for us to take a day or 2 off every month and just give our digestive system an opportunity to recover, it's very, very, very helpful.
Right, fantastic. And so also we've got a lot of people who do celery juice take it every day, and I get asked if they can drink celery juice or bone broth when they're doing the detox? Is that okay to
Wonderful.
continue with that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You've answered what the True Cleanse is doing as well. That's our probiotics. That's, you know, healing the gut. So that's fantastic. That was another question I had. And what is, we have some people when they're detoxing, they have very low energy. And certainly obviously in the first week or so, but they find that some days, if they're not, their calorie intake isn't as much, even though they're taking the nutrients, they still have low energy. What would you say, what foods or what would you suggest for this?
Sure. So you know, often it's not as much the energy per se, it's just the psychology of not eating, right? So a lot of times we think, oh my goodness, we're like, you know, we may have a not unless they have an actual low blood sugar situation, but the body is so intelligent. The body's going to go into what's called gluconeogenesis anyway. So the body's going to restore its energy. Most people are carrying a lot of stored fat tissue, adipose tissue. Don't eat for a little bit. The body's innate wisdom, innate intelligence will begin to metabolize the stored glucagon and the stored glucagon, turn it into glucose and form the energy. So, but if someone is just really has low energy and they haven't eaten, they can eat like a green apple that can give them some energy. They can maybe have a juice that can give them some energy. But again, we're changing. It's a detox, so we're changing eating habits and we're changing craving habits. So you know, the way I always tell people is, it's not going to be the most pleasant thing to do, but it's going to be one of the most beneficial things you can do.
Fantastic. Thank you. And one last question, and I'll turn the spotlight over to someone else. So thank you for this. I've heard people say that they're unable to detox because they have the MTHR gene, or, you know, they're unable to, their body is unable to. Can you explain this? And is this correct?
They can't detox because they have the what?
They have a gene, a certain gene or something, the MTHR sometimes, or their body doesn't allow them to detox. Is this correct? Can everybody detox?
You know, we've detoxed people. We've detoxed literally millions of people. I've never heard of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's fine.
Yes.
So I've never heard of a gene that doesn't allow you to detox. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've heard people say, "Oh no, I'm allowed to do that." I think it's probably more the medical world that doesn't like it.
I was about to say I've come across it either.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, if you take these products, not just the liver detox, but if you take nutritional products to medical doctors, we got to understand that medical doctors have very little study of nutrition. So they're not going to be the people who have the authority and knowledge to give you the best advice in regards to nutrition. So it's easier to say, no, you shouldn't do it. What I always tell people when I sign people up, if they say, oh, well, let me check with my medical doctor, I tell them you can take all these products to your medical doctor, and 70 to 80% of medical doctors are going to tell you not to take them. And they're going to say, why? I said, because they're not into the world of nutrition. They're into the world of disease and symptoms. So their number one goal is to not get you well, it's to remove the symptoms. So there's three layers to this, right? There's health. Right below health is dis-ease. And then below that is disease. So when you go to a medical doctor, you usually go when you're in a state of disease. That means that there's symptoms. Their goal is to get you to the point of dis-ease. Dis-ease is when your body's not functioning well, but there's no more symptoms. So if you go to a medical doctor and you're sneezing and he gives you something for allergies and you stop sneezing, according to medicine, they're going to say, okay, perfect, we accomplished our goal because we removed the symptoms. My job is not to remove symptoms. My job is to get you back to health. So we want to go through the disease and the dis-ease and get you back to health. So you got to be aware that most medical doctors, most people medically related, are not going to look at these products or any type of wellness nutritional products because it goes against their philosophy.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Jeanette's been putting some things in the comment in comments. But before we about the MR and that thing, let me see if I can read. It says, the medical world don't recognise the MTHR gene. It's often the alternative health path that treat or manage the methylfolate gene. That's, I hope I said that right, Jeanette. And now a question that came up during a time when we had pharmacist Ben on was, and he talks about your liver detox all the time, and he then talk about someone asked if he could do it if you have no gallbladder, and he said yes, and then he said, hang on a minute, I best check with Dr. Lewis. And so we've got you now, so we want to ask you, can someone do the cleanse if they have no gallbladder, and how do they best go about that?
Absolutely, that's a really good question. So if someone does not have a gallbladder, then they are in more of a desperate need to detoxify the liver. Remember, the liver houses all the toxins. The toxins it's transformed into like a sand that travels down the common bile duct into the gallbladder. When medicine removes your gallbladder, there's nowhere for that toxicity to go to, so it accumulates in the liver, and then it can cause a lot of organic issues in the liver. It can cause liver cirrhosis. It can cause hypertrophy of liver. It can cause liver cancer. So therefore, you want to. So if you come across someone that doesn't have a gallbladder, I would detoxify their liver at least every 4 or 5 months a year.
Oh, so they have to do it more often.
Oh yeah, because medicine has already removed your wholeness. Medicine has already removed the integrity of your endocrine system. So now we have to compensate for medical's errors.
Oh wow, there you go. That will actually help a lot of people who have, because I often come across people who say they don't have a gallbladder, and so they won't do it. But and Caroline has a couple of other questions she wanted to ask you.
Sorry, I don't want to. Hello again. Sorry, I don't want to take all the spotlight here, but certainly, if anyone else has got any questions, then just, I guess, put them in the chat. But why do we take the prep at the 6 and the 8 o'clock? What's happening then? And also, can you explain what's happening at 10 o'clock with the oil as well, please?
Absolutely. So the liver prep is exactly that. It's preparing the liver to detoxify. So you stop eating and drinking at 2 p.m. You know, again, the liver is working 24 hours a day, processing food, digesting food, part of the endocrine system. It's separating toxins, setting all the good material, all the good the carbs and the proteins and the amino acids and everything else into the circulatory system, and everything else it's keeping in the liver. So therefore, at 2 o'clock, you stop eating and drinking everything, so the liver can stop working. At 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, when you take the liver prep, it's going to help to. It's almost like pumping the liver a little bit. It's going to start to have like some liver spasms, so to speak. You start feeling things move, and that's just the liver preparing itself for the actual detoxification. At 10 o'clock, when you take the oil mixture with the lemon, now that oil is going to come and it's going to encapsulate most of the toxins within the liver, and then you're going to excrete them through your bile, when you use the restroom. So that's why the process is 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Now, if someone misses a 6, the 8, and the 10, they can do it at 7, 9, and 11. They can do it at 8, 10, and 12. It's just, but making sure that they give the liver those 4 or 5 hours of not having any food or any beverages in order to prepare it so it can detoxify correctly. One of the biggest mistakes that people make in detoxifying their liver is that they one of the biggest mistakes is that they eat something or they drink water. and you really wanna stay true to the directions, and you want to not have anything at all for 4 to 5 hours before you start taking the liver prep.
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay. And so you just mentioned about bowel movements then. So sometimes a lot of people get the bowel movements in the prep, but really
Yes.
you say that you need some at least 4 bowel movements after you've taken the clean, and then you may not need to take the prep the next day. But it's really the bowel movements after the liver clean that you're looking for. It's not necessarily the bowel movements when you're taking the prep. Is that correct? Or can you count all of the bowel movements?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
That is very correct. If you myself, everyone's a little bit different. Every organism is different, but myself, I will begin my bowel movements on the second dose of the prep. I'll begin bowel movements, but they're very different than after 10 o'clock. After when I take the oil mixture, the liver cleanse, and I lay on my right side. So important to lay on your right side so it can cover out the entire liver. When I lay on my right side, I mean, it's like clockwork. 30 to 45 minutes later, I will have to use the restroom, and then I'll probably go 2 to 3 times before I fall asleep. So I've already gone like 3 or 4 times. So in the morning, I can discard the extra liver cleanse. Some people don't. Some people may go once or twice. So when they wake up, they're going to take the next 6 ounces, and then 2 hours later, they're going to take another 6 ounces.
Interesting. Right. Thank you. And then the cleansing continues as well onwards after that, doesn't it? I know that some people may be backed up for a little while, even after the clean, and then it might not happen for sort of 1 or 2 days, but certainly the train gets moving, I would say, over the course of the few days, doesn't it?
That is right. Again, and what I do when I talk to people is I give them a very general overview without being too specific, because like I said, every organism is different. It's like when you take BTT, when you take polymers, when you take selenium. You know, when I take selenium, within 30 minutes, I feel like a mental fog has been removed. I feel like I'm a little more energetic. Some people don't feel that, right? So you wanna make sure that that they understand that each organism is a little different. So you don't want to give them like a cookie cutter idea. And if you're off by an hour or 2, they may think something is wrong when actually there's nothing wrong. It's just their body's reacting to it a little different.
So thinking about the liver prep, that if you've got the bowel movements, you don't need to finish that last bit in the morning. Is it okay to have it anyway?
Yeah, there's no harm in it. Yes, you can take it. There's no harm in it.
I'm a waste not want not girl.
Yeah.
Growing up on the dairy farm, you didn't waste a thing. So even if I've had the movements, I still finish it off.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, I have a couple of other questions. But Jeanette put in the comments, is it possible to have these answers that you've given us today put in, because they've been good questions, put into the leaflet that comes in the box, because it would help us tremendously.
Oh, okay, like a question answer into leaflet. Oh, that would be a corporate decision. So for us, we have weekly trainings, and in my group we have weekly trainings. We have weekly basic trainings for business, and then we have weekly trainings on the products. So every week I have some of my leaders going over this, and then they plug in all the new people every single week. So that's how we spread the message, and that's how we try to get as many people to do it correctly, because there are some people that are going to do it incorrectly just because they didn't understand the instructions or they were coached appropriately. That would be something that you would have to request from corporate. Cool. to actually put these questions and answers into the detox system.
Okay. A couple of other questions I had is it possible to do a 15-day cleanse, and what would that look like?
No.
Because a lot of people can't.
No, it is a 30-day cleanse. It takes 30 days to remove all the toxicity from your body.
Oh, okay. Jeanette said, hang on. What did Jeanette say? Thank you for that. That's what I thought, but it was asked. It's the liver booklet, not the one in the box. Okay. I didn't know we had a liver booklet, but there you go.
We have a detox brochure that was Avalia actually sent round. Yes, it's amazing.
It's on the app.
It's a really good one. Yeah, certainly we can, as Dr. Lewis said, we can certainly train with these questions, and we can put these questions and answers down in our own documents as well. So
I keep forgetting about that one in the app. Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah. So in our Spartan system, we have something called the 48-hour rule. So every time we sign somebody up, doesn't matter if it's a business person or it's a health product person, we do something that we call the 48-hour rule. So that means there's 3 points to this. The first is that we have to get their why. The second is that we make them a product of the product. And the third is we show them how to get their money back. In the process of making them a product of the product, that's when we go over the product in details. And this is what we do with every individual that we sign up to make sure, because if they don't take the product correctly, then they don't get the right results. And if they don't get the right results, remember, the people that recruit are the people that are excited. So you want to get people excited by having them get the right result, by having them feel better, having them have a physiological change. And that can happen in 2-3 days. And if you get someone that feels better, someone that, let's just say, someone has been walking around with lethargy and apathetic, and all of a sudden they take their healthy start pack, they take their pollen burst, and they have more energy. They're right there. You have a captive audience that can bring you 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 new people. So you want to make sure that as soon as you sell them the product, you sit with them and you get their action motivator, you make them a product of the product, and you show them how to get their money back within 5 days, 5 to 7 days.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so another question I had sent to me, how soon after the initial drink can you have that drink again?
What drink is that?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. This is from my niece who has gone on school camp. She's a teacher, so she couldn't be on. So I'm not sure which initial drink she's talking about, but maybe it's the initial drink that you have after you've done your liver detox. I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure. It's timed, right? So after you have your initial drink at 6, your next one's going to be 2 hours later, and then the next one will be 2 hours later. So those are the only 3 drinks you're going to have.
Okay. Caroline, did you have another question?
No, I was just saying maybe they meant the liver clean or the prep or something. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I know a lot of people do once they've done the 30-day
now I
cleanse,
know
they
that
do
there were
7
other
and
people
8.
that hope.
Sorry.
Okay. You're welcome. So did anyone else have any questions they wanted to ask? Because that's all the questions that have been sent to me. Please unmute and let me know so that I can spotlight you. I thought there was.
I just had
Hello?
one question. Well, actually a few questions.
Yes. Are you able to put
so I am actually driving at the moment, so I probably shouldn't have my camera on.
Oh, good old Bailey.
So I'm actually driving to work, so I start in 15 minutes, but I'm still on here anyway because I just wanted to actually listen to all this. It's very informational, and thank you for that. I'm only 21 years old. I've been to the doctor in November last year because I suddenly put on about 10, 15 kilos and I knew something wasn't right. When I went to the doctor, we did some tests. He said that it was mainly from hypothyroidism, and my liver was also in a pretty bad state at the time. When I initially went in, the levels of my liver were 120. My thyroid level, was 122, I think it was. And I'm pretty sure it's meant to be 0.4 to 4. From what I've heard just from this meeting, really, was mainly it's actually the liver that would still be playing up, causing the thyroid issues. Is that the correct assumption there?
Very often. most of the time, a thyroid issue is secondary to a toxic liver. So that's why you're going to see a lot of people that are on thyroid medication for years. And I mean, I'm talking about for decades, and nothing changes, right? Because it's not a thyroid issue. And then you're going to see people that are going to detoxify their liver, and next, 3-4 months later, they're off of thyroid medication because it was a liver issue.
Yeah. So when I went to the doctor, we had some ultrasounds done. I've got fatty liver, and my liver was, I think, 23 centimeters in diameter, or millimeters in diameter. I'm not sure which one it was now. It was a while ago when I had the scans done. And I'm still on a waiting list to see a specialist because that's what the doctor wanted. But I've been on the waiting list since November and haven't had any luck with it at all. And my doctor said after blood tests I had just last month that my liver levels are looking really well and everything should be good. It's the thyroid that he's worried about.
Okay. That's great. Did you detoxify?
I haven't detoxified yet, and I've been talking to Michelle, who's my upline, about getting a liver cleanse kit because I feel like there is still issues with the liver because even when I haven't had like tangy tangerine or anything like that, when I go to the bathroom, my urine is still like pretty yellow or like darker even. So I've always been thinking that definitely is still something not right with the liver.
Absolutely. I mean, you can only benefit from detoxifying your liver. It can only be better for you. And of course, when I say detoxifying liver, that doesn't mean you don't take the 90 for life. This is in conjunction with the 90 for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Healthy Start Pack, which is why the CEO Detox Pack down under has that with it.
Yes.
And it's because it's the whole package. And I think that's a good point to make because far too many, I find, do not remember or don't take their supplements. They just want to do the liver detox, and trying to convince them that they still need the 90 as well has always been a bit of an issue.
Right. So yes, it's the 1-2 punch, right? It's the liver detox plus the product from Dr. Wallet plus the 90 for life, because one thing is detoxifying your liver, and the other one is bringing the right nutrition into your body.
Absolutely. And I meant to say thank you, Bailey, for that question. That was really good, particularly from a 21-year-old. But the younger ones I find are getting a little harder. Did you have more questions, Bailey?
Yeah, I feel like I've been in the wars lately. No, that was all for my questions there, really.
Oh, that's awesome. So we look forward to hearing your results from your liver detox, Bailey, once you've done that. If you keep us updated, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll definitely keep Michelle updated, so hopefully she'll be able to pass on if I forget to.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Jeanette would like to has a question for you too, Dr. Lewis.
Yes, of course.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Lewis. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. Of course.
You're always amazing, and I cite your incredible program to many people. I'm just wanting to ask a few practitioners, certainly within our big community of longevity, suggest that you are on the 90 for life for 3 months before you begin the liver detox. I'd like your comments, your thoughts on that, and also we do have a lot of people who basically do not commit to the 90 for life after the detox. So there are certainly our two issues. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so the only time that I will suggest for someone to do maybe 2 or 3 weeks, never 90 days. No one needs to do 90 days of nutrition before they start the detox. But there is, last week I did a one-on-one, and a man had stopped chemotherapy about 3 weeks prior, and he still was 30-40 pounds under his normal weight. Still was feeling a little weak. I said, okay, well, why don't we do some nutrition? Let's get let's get all these nutrients into your body now, and then in about 2-3 weeks we're gonna detoxify you. That'd be the only circumstance. 3 months, no, you don't. No one needs to do 90 days of nutrition before detoxifying.
Okay.
And what was
So
your second part?
The fact that people really need to maintain this, because often I find people who do the liver detox, but they don't continue with the 90 for life. And I think cost is a big factor as well.
Okay, so again, in our philosophy, right, in my teachings, money is never an issue. It's an issue of value. People pay for value. So our job is to bring value to people, because money is never ever an issue. I have gone into homes, 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment homes in very impoverished areas, and they have 3, 4, 5 iPhones on the table. So it tells me that people pay for what they perceive value to be. So when someone says they don't have money, everybody has money. Okay, so let's remove that thought. Everybody has money. So number 2, we can't force people to do things that they're not going to want to do. So if you can get people to do the liver detox and that's all they want to do, well, then that's all they want to do. So I would go back, I would backtrace, and I'd go back and say, okay, how was the presentation? How was the invitation? How was the action motivator? Did we follow our system? Because I have a duplicatable system that helps people sign people up. And what I have found in 22 years of network marketing is when you follow the system, then people have less objections. So people are going to want to use the product. People are going to buy the mega pack, and people are going to stay on the product.
Well, they often do, because they spend a lot of money. So I think when people do buy a CEO pack, the respect of the pack is and the amount of money they've spent actually is enough to carry them through before they sort of get some results, which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. The more they're, the more they're invested, the more that they're going to see positive results. Yeah, it's interesting how it works that way.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Grant, did you have a question?
Yes, Bronie. I've gone through cancer, chemotherapy, and radiotherapy. So, what's the advice for someone who's done that sort of stuff?
You're going through it right now?
No. It was 11 years ago, 12 years ago. But I have been through it, and I know, it destroyed my system really. But what's your advice for someone who's like a long time ago gone through chemotherapy and radiotherapy?
Sure. So I would be triple dosing on everything. I'd be triple dosing selenium. I'd be triple dosing the Cell Shield. I'd be triple dosing the entire Healthy Start Pack, the Osteo, the Glugel, the EFAs, the BTT. I would be taking 5 selenium a day, 5 selenium 3 times a day. I'd be taking 4 enzymes 2 times a day, 1 on empty stomach, 1 before lunch. I would be bombarding my system so I can make it as strong as possible, and of course detoxifying my liver once or twice a year. Cancer doesn't sleep, so you have to do everything possible to move the needle towards health, and it takes a lot of product, and that's why that's why my association, different than many people, I don't associate our products with being expensive. I don't associate $500 with a lot of money. I don't do that, because for me, it's like in the books, and it's like in The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's a matter of life and death. So if you're talking to someone on their dying bed and they're on their deathbed, and they say, oh, if you would invest at 1,000 or 2,000, you live another 10, 20 years, they would invest 2,000 in a heartbeat. So it's all a perspective. It's all a philosophy. So I get people, I'm often people are triple dosing when they sit with me, because that's what their body needs.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, that makes complete sense to me, really. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're coming up close to the hour. So do we have any other questions from anyone out there in the field?
Yes, Bronie. Just wondering, have you ever experienced anyone having a Herxheimer's reaction, from detoxing too rapidly with this?
Having a what type of reaction?
Herxheimer.
I don't know what is that again?
A Herxheimer. I've never heard of it either.
What is that?
Well, they go into like huge detoxification and can get very, very sick, and it just floods the bloodstream with toxins. I've had it happen a couple of times when people have followed Dr. Wallach's big dose upfront protocol, like 2 or 3 heart and brain packs. And one lady ended up checking herself into hospital because she got so frightened. Yeah, but
no,
you don't see anybody. No, not with with this protocol. That's great.
No.
Excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
If they take the nutrients too fast, it does whack the poor old body. That's a hell of a shock to a body. So it's slow it down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't start anyone off on those high doses anymore.
Yeah.
Actually, can I add something to that as well?
Yes.
We've got Kevin Grundy. I mean, gosh, thank you, Kevin, always. I always use his protocol now. I changed about 3 or 4 years ago. Start with the back of a wet teaspoon. And it does take them, some of them, so long, like 6 weeks to get to even 1 dose, some of them. They're so sick. And I think that's really good advice from Kevin. So I always use his philosophy on that.
Little steps. I have this thing, little steps. We just start little steps. Otherwise, we have too big of a step, we can fall over.
Yep.
So, Kevin, did you have any questions for Dr. Lewis while you were here?
No, we're on the same page, very much on the same page. That's why what you're hearing resonates with me, and vice versa. So, thank you so much for giving us your time. We're very hungry for people like yourself to talk down under here. So we do appreciate you coming in at this time, and for you guys for getting up early to come and support Bronie and everything else. So thank you guys.
Well, Dr. Lewis, I know that you have a lot going on there, and thank you, Kevin, for that. I appreciate it, and everyone for coming. And I know Dr. Lewis has a lot going on there at the moment. He's had a bit of an emergency in their home overnight. So we thank you for your time, Dr. Lewis. And do you have anything more further to add before we disappear?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's early for you, and so some of you are working, some of you are getting the kids ready for school. So it's my pleasure, and I would love to do it again and again and again and again. I've been committed to health and network marketing for going on 3 decades now. So I just have seen so many benefits and so many victories, both from the health perspective and the business perspective. And it's just such a beautiful thing when someone, decides to go pro, when someone decides to move up from an amateur to a student to a professional to a master, when someone makes a decision to master this beautiful platform called network marketing, their lifestyle changes forever. So I appreciate you guys. And if there's anything ever I can do, please, I am 1 text away.
Well, thank you very much for that. We really appreciate that, and we're so grateful for your time. So if there's no more questions, I will close this out as I do with so asking you all nicely here in Bronie as well to stay safe, stay informed, be empowered, but do not live in fear, my friends. And when you are detoxing in a safe way and remembering you're 90 for life as well, then you too will be powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and most definitely very brave. God bless you all. Thanks,
Bronnie. Thanks, Bronnie.
Thanks, Bronnie. Thanks, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you. Thanks, Bronnie.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. That was amazing. We're so grateful. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.